Hey everyone, Jeff back from Swish 710 Bowling. I've got another great video for you today. We're going to do something a little different. We're not going to be doing a ball review video today. This is more of an informational video because I've seen a lot of people ask on the online bowling community, Facebook, Reddit, and other places, should I go down from 15 pounds to 14 pounds? So we're going to try to answer that today. But before I get into that, I just want to let you know I'm starting to extend out my social media presence. We've got a new Swish 710 Facebook page. We've got a TikTok, and you can also follow my personal Instagram if you want, where I'll be posting some bowling pictures. I'll be trying to do some coverage of some events that I do, or just some highlights or little funny clips on the TikTok. Plus there's also obviously my YouTube page here, where I do release some reels in addition to this video. So join up for all those if you're interested, and we will get great content to you throughout the summer and for the rest of the year and going forward. So regarding 14 pounds, this is something that I have a little experience with. About 2 years ago, I hurt my left hip and my left knee, and it was really kind of painful for me when I bowl, when I slide. So I actually went down from 15 pounds to 14 pounds, and I drilled up about 4 or 5 14 pounders. And I bowled with them for about 6 months, and they helped me out a lot. The pain eventually went away. Doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong, no idea. But eventually, I started to feel better, so I went back up to 15. So I do have some experience going from 15 to 14 to 15. I thought I'd share it with you guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually go out to the lanes. We've got 2 identical bowling balls. They're both 3D offset hammers, and they're both drilled exactly the same way, but one's in 15 pounds and one's in 14 pounds. I actually, when I went down to 14, I drilled one of the 3D offset hammers. So I already had one, and then when I went back up to 15, I drilled another because I like it so much. So I have one in 15, I have one in 14. Neither of them have too many games on them, so I thought it would be a really good comparison for you guys to show them side by side. So what we're going to do is we'll go out to the lanes, and right now you can see on the screen the 2 3D offsets that I'm going to be throwing. You can see they're both drilled pretty much the same way. They're both 45 by 5 1/8 by 40, and I completely matched the surface on both of them. I took both of them down to 500 on a spinner, then up to 2,000, and then I by hand just put a light 3,000 on them, just to kind of take some of that edge off of the dull. I didn't want them too dull, to give it that kind of lane shine look. And then I finished it off on the spinner really lightly with the 3,000. So that's what you see here. They're both drilled pretty much the same. So we'll see if there's any reaction difference, any release difference. I know people are interested to see if there's any difference in the rev rate and the carry especially. So we'll get into all that. So let's go out to the lanes and see what happens. So we're here at Strikers Lanes down in Sunrise, Florida, and usually what I would do in these videos is a detailed commentary of every shot of every ball that goes down the lane, but I'm going to do something different here. So I've got the scoreboard on the screen. I'm going to bowl 2 games, like a race to 2, like the PBA goes, and obviously the score doesn't really matter. It's just kind of for fun, but it also does let you see which ball I'm throwing at which shots, because it's got the 14 and the 15 on the screen. So it makes it easier for me. I don't have to tell you guys, hey, this is a 14, this is a 15. You can just kind of see it for yourself. So usually what I would do is a detailed commentary of every shot of every ball that goes down the lane, but I'm going to do something a little different. I'm actually going to do my closing thoughts now here at the beginning, because I think it would be helpful for you guys to listen to the things that I learned and that I noticed, and you can kind of look for them as the ball goes down the lane. And also, this is going to be kind of a long video, and I don't think it's fair to make you wait until the very end to hear what I have to say about the differences that I saw. So I'm just going to give my closing thoughts, and then I'm just going to sign off and let you guys watch all the rest of the shots I took. I'll put some music on. Watch as much as you like. Watch none of it. Whatever you guys want. So first, could I feel the weight difference between the 15-pound balls and the 14-pound ball? And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. It was very noticeable. There's really not much to elaborate here. Yes, you can feel it. It's only a pound difference. People say you don't really feel the difference between the two. When you go back and forth between them, yeah, you can feel it. So Second, how is the carry with the 14-pound ball? That's like the big question that always gets asked. Pretty comparable to the 15, actually. Solid pocket hits were fine. Pins still flew around. I got some messengers on the light hits with the 14-pound balls. You'll see those. The only time it was really noticeable was on slightly flat pocket hits, where you do get a bit of deflection that could turn into corner pins or something else. I kind of joke with people, 19 out of 20 shots were fine, but that 1 out of 20, kind of almost a 5-7-10 or an 8-10, maybe 1 out of 30, I don't know. But most of the time, the carry was fine. So how was my rev rate with 14-pound balls? Because I know that's something that a lot of people that go down to 14 think they're going to actually get on and be able to rev the ball more. So I absolutely did feel like I could get more on the ball with the 14-pounder. And you actually see it from the shots I throw that the 14 comes off my hand much more aggressively. However, that brought up one collateral issue, which I'll ask my next question. Were there any concerns? Yes. I felt like my release was much less consistent with the 14. There were times it would come off my hand clean, other times when it just felt like I was able to get too far under it or hit on it more than I wanted to. I felt like my body was able to exert more control over the downswing and the release. And while this generated more power, it wasn't consistent. Anytime your body exerts force to do something, you're in danger of that thing not being repeatable because it's difficult to repeat that exact amount of force. That's why free pendulum swings are so easy to replicate. And it's so easy to repeat shots. Because if you do nothing to the ball, 0 is 0 is 0. You do nothing, it's easy to repeat it. But if you do something, that's difficult to repeat. So while the 15-pound ball came off my hand a little cleaner with less rev rate, I felt like off my hand the shots were much closer to each other. So do I recommend going down from 15 to 14? I'd say that if you're experiencing soreness or pain or have an injury that limits you or makes it more difficult to use a 15-pound ball, if you have some medical reason to make the switch, totally go for it. It may help you manage the pain some. It did for me, but if you're physically fine and are just looking for a better reaction, rev rate, carry, I'm not really sure that it's worth sacrificing the accuracy and the repeatability for the more inconsistent power. But that was just my experience. Your mileage may vary. One last thing to mention, and I think this is crucial. Keep in mind that many manufacturers' products have different RG, differential, intermediate differential numbers for their bowling balls in different weights. So ball X might have a 2.50 RG and a 0.050 differential in 15 pounds, but in 14 pounds, those numbers might be different. They might be higher, they might be lower. One might be higher, the other might be lower, and this will impact your ball's reaction. You absolutely want to look at and have your pro shop operator look at the difference in the ball's, quote, stats between weights. It might alter the layout you want to put on the ball slightly. You might need to drill it stronger or weaker or maybe the same, depending on the ball. Make sure you do your research before drilling. And that's what I've got to say on this. So thanks to Strikers Lanes here in South Florida, to the 7 Brands of Brunswick, especially Track, which is the brand I represent, and Hammer, who made these 3D offset hammers that I used in this video. So I've got one more game to go. I'll sign off. You can watch it at your leisure, and I will see you next time for my next video.